I do not have my laptop today, Deeds. It's in the car still. Sorry. So if
I don't know
you
why you still
can,
have your laptop. You just need to wipe it. You've got that guy always
uh, I
cracking into
use
it.
I use the laptop so I can see what's going on in the conversation of the flow. Carlos, I don't know if you know this or not, but I've my laptop has been hijacked on multiple occasions by creeps on the internet and in out in the world. So yeah, it's just been a weird situation. But we digress. Today is Wednesday. I think it's the 26th or something. I don't know. Is that about right?
27. About
Wednesday,
right.
the
Close enough.
27th of May. It is 7:30, 8:30 on the East Coast, 7:30 on the Deeds Coast, 6:30 for me today as I'm in Denver, and
Denver.
5:30 a.m. on Carlos Coast. What is up,
All right.
everybody?
Good
It's
morning,
me.
Carlos. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us
Yeah,
today.
super early. It's me, Jason Gulick, Mark Deeds, Klodzinski, and today we are joined by the one and only Carlos Gonzales, EBC, Enviro BioClean. And you're in California today?
That's home base, ground zero.
Round zero. And how's your week treating you today?
What's that?
How's the week treating you today?
Oh, good. Everything's good, man. It's 30's not too early. It's actually I'm up and about pretty much every day like that.
Yeah, you go on a run very often, don't you? You a 5, 6 day a week runner, something like that?
Yeah, yeah. I used to run just constantly, like almost every day. This was a couple of years ago, and then kind of cut back a little bit on that and switched up to be in the weight room, lifting weights, and kind of get through my week either on the trails or in the gym. Just kind of decompressing, kind of with it. So yeah, something I enjoy doing.
Nice. You got to take care of yourself mentally and physically, obviously. And
It's yeah,
is that one of the things that helps you get clarity whenever you're starting to get cloudy and whatnot?
it does. There's two reasons that I run, and it's one of them's kind of a funny thing. It's that midlife crisis mentality that everybody kind of hits when you get to a certain age, and I'll turn 60 this year, and
Congrats.
yeah, I just want to stay in shape as much as I can, and the second thing, and it's probably the most important reason why I'm either on the trails or I'm in the gym every, pretty much 6 days a week. I do take one day off just to kind of rest my body physically. It is from a mental standpoint. I've found over the years, and I've been running now for maybe 8, 9 years. It it allows me to kind of decompress, as you said, Jason.
Yeah.
It affords me the opportunity, the 40 minutes or hour or however how long I'm out there, either in the gym or out running, to mentally dump things that have been, I won't say plaguing me.
Juggling?
It's that stress relief. It's like yesterday. For some reason, all day long, everything that I touched yesterday in the office, maybe it was just post Memorial Day, didn't want to come back to work mentality, but yesterday was just like, excuse the expression, I don't give a damn day.
Yeah.
And everything that I touched, it was just half-hearted conversations on the phone with contractors, with vendors, with industry-related people was eh. So yesterday was just one of those sucky days, and it came to the point at the end of the day where it was my turn, my day to run yesterday, and I contemplated mentally. My mind was playing tricks on me, saying, take another day off, just relax, don't worry about it. But I just wasn't in the right frame of mind. So I forced myself mentally. It's like, no, I got to stay on script. I got to stay on schedule. And it doesn't matter how far I run, I have to put a run in. And I think into mile 3 of yesterday's run, I was just so relieved and happy that I didn't listen to myself and not run. So after 5 miles on the trail yesterday, I just felt so good again mentally. And that's what I needed. And I think that in our business, whether it be on the window cleaning side, whether it be on pressure washing or home service, I think this applies to everybody in the world. There's, we go through things in life all the time, and as entrepreneurs, we're, the old cliche, and I think it still applies today, is that you're supposed to just suck it up. And whatever pressure points you're going through in life, whether it be personal, whether it be mental health, whether it be just I don't give a damn mentality, the entrepreneurial definition is, well, you got to suck it up and
Push through.
Yeah, because that's what you do. That's what we've been taught as as young kids, is suck it up. Tighten your belt, pull your bootstraps up. Oh, don't worry about it; it'll go away. And sometimes it doesn't go away. That pressure. Sometimes that worrisome about your business doesn't go away. Sometimes that fight, if you want to call it that, with your spouse doesn't go away. Sometimes the concerns of your kids don't go away. And then so we're boxed in, and that pressure keeps building. But again, we default to that idea that, well, I'm an entrepreneur. This is how I'm just supposed to handle this, is to suck it up. And I think both of y'all know where I'm going with this, is that, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, that builds up until one day,
Pop.
bomb. And then now you enter into, doing things that you normally don't do, whether it be, substance abuse, whether it be drinking, whether it be, hitting your spouse, whether it be, talking down on your employees. Then you start becoming that nasty person in life. Then you look yourself in the mirror and it's like you don't recognize who you are anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
And that's a tough road. That's a tough journey to go down by yourself.
And then at that point, sometimes too, you end up start disliking yourself and who you've become because you haven't spoken to or let things get off your chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you brought that up. May is mental health awareness month. We've tried to touch on it quite a bit this month, discussing overcoming different obstacles that we've seen in our lives, whether it be business or professional or personal and family, things like that. Carlos, I understand you've gone through quite a bit in your life, not only personally like yourself, but in your own family.
Yeah.
Many stressors for extended periods of time. I don't know if our audience is aware of some of the things that you and your family have been through. And I would love if you're comfortable sharing, the dynamic and how some of the things that you guys have gone through have gone. And basically, I'd love for you to, if you're comfortable sharing some of that and how you've gotten through the dark times, those dark times. Because I know a lot of times when we get stuck, when we get in a jam, things sometimes feel like you're sunk. You're all you have left is all you can see. You're floating, you're covered.
Yeah.
How do you get through times like that? But beforehand, I would love for you, if you're comfortable sharing some of your story, Carlos. It would mean a lot.
No, I appreciate it. It's I don't know where to really start, because my story really goes back when I was a kid, when I was a young adolescent, and then in foster homes, life. I think that was the the foundation of who that carved out. I chipped away the foundation of who I am as a person today, based on my childhood experiences with a dysfunctional family, whether that was like and et cetera, et cetera. So I think that created or formed me or molded me into
Bold.
what I am into today. But more recently, to touch on what you said, Jason, I think one of the most recent kind of heartfelt and really dramatic shifts in my life was during a time when my daughter Madison was she went missing, actually. Oh gosh, now I gotta think back how far back this was. It seems like it was just yesterday, but it was maybe about 5 years ago total time. We woke up one day and life was great, and she decided to go for a walk around the house, and she never made it home. And that was the beginning of just a 3-year nightmare for.
You froze there for a second.
Yeah, where we just did not know what happened, and it was pure agony for us. What's going on with my internet? But so she just disappeared. And
So
this was
how old was she at the time, Carlos?
this was well, she spent 3 birthdays missing, so she would have been 20, 26, 27, 26, I think, 25 or 26 at the time when she disappeared. And she's 30 now. So she spent 3 years just wandering aimlessly throughout the East Bay. And it took a lot out of me, where every year I was losing hope that
Fucking bird. Jeepers creepers.
no indicator whatsoever that there was something going on with her mentally. My daughter worked in the industry. I'll keep on the pressure washing side of the world. Met her and interacted with her over the years, and so there was nothing that stood out to us that would indicate that, hey, there's something going on with our daughter. So this night and day environment that both my wife, myself, and my family, and really a lot of people in the industry that I shared this with, it's just how could this happen? And you start questioning things. You hit pause. Your life.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. So you think back, and I started retracing my steps year after year since she was born. It's like, well, what happened here? Where did I, again, the blame? I'm putting blame on myself. Where did I go wrong? And so it was a very challenging time where I would,
that's got to be traumatic.
Oh yeah, it's I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. And the hard part was, interacting with, the homicide detectives and the police agencies and private investigators that we hired. I think one of the pivotal moments in for both my wife and myself
Oh my God.
Oh, the internet.
That was assigned to a case where they said that we needed to come down to the police station and provide DNA samples just in
Man.
case, a body is found and they need to match it up. So that was really a very hard driving to the police station to do that. And then the emotions, just you can't predict when you're going to have a good day or a bad day. Little things that reminded me of my daughter would just kind of overtake me emotionally. And I think what got me through a lot of that, and it may sound silly to some of the listeners, is the support that I received from colleagues in the industry. But
Oh man, keep breaking up.
conference it was, but my wife and myself, I think it was the huge convention. It was the huge convention, and we were on our way back home and sitting at the airport. And Chris from over at Chris Lamborghini's from Cleveland Resource was sitting, I don't know, maybe about 30, 40 feet from us in the terminal. And I remember him coming over to us and extending just a really heartfelt message to my wife and to myself about the situation that we were in with our daughter. And that meant a lot to my wife. Chris doesn't know this, but when he left after we were done talking, and he just wanted to express his that had a profound effect on my wife. And so we had that kind of support just sprinkled throughout the years from, people in the industry out of the blue, reaching out and talking to me and just, saying, hey, we're just thinking about you, this and that. And that interaction with colleagues and strangers.
Yeah.
That heard from a friend, from a colleague that this is what we were going through. That was the Band-Aid a lot of times that kept things together from a business standpoint for us, for EBC, because there was a point that I was ready to throw in the towel. I was done. I didn't enjoy making soap anymore. I didn't enjoy that. I wasn't having fun with that. And
it's got to be hard when you're going through that to also separate personal from business. And kind of like what you mentioned earlier, it's ingrained in us at a young age to keep pressing. You can get through this. You can get through this. But we don't, when we're going through something that's so traumatic or emotional, like you were going through, it's got to be difficult to separate yourself from, again, business and personal. And what kept you from throwing in the damn towel? Like, seriously, how could you not just be like, fuck, pardon my French, fuck this. I got to go, get my family settled. How did you not make that decision?
It's funny that you bring this up because I spoke on this topic a couple of years ago.
We're having a hard time with this internet today. I don't know what the deal is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. You'll go into
Hold on. Let's remove him from the stream and then have him click the link to join back in. Jake's saying that might help, and it might actually for the internet connectivity. So Carlos, I'm going to remove you from the screen really quick from the thing, and then go ahead and just click the link and come back to the studio.
I can't not have him relay this message properly.
He's kicking out.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's putting such effort and such emotion and such great storytelling into this, and I don't want to have him continuously drop off. I feel horrible about that.
Yeah, he's got a very
Deeds, I can't hear you now.
Story. Oh, weird. Hold on.
Are you there?
I'm here. Hold on.
Nah, man. Now I lost your signal.
Oh, dang.
Oh my God, dude.
Hold on. We're gonna test the internets. Hold on. I'm gonna kick you off, Goo. I'm gonna kick him from the studio. Goo can come back. Carlos is back.
Hey, Mark,
all right,
sorry
Carlos.
About that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I wanted to. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Because we were having trouble. Your audio was breaking up every 15 seconds for a while. So we had to. I kicked you from the studio, and I kicked Jason. So when he rejoins and you rejoined, it looks like your microphone is working now. But we just can't see you though. No, it was something with an internet connection, whether it was the software or one of ours that was it was cutting off some of your sentences, and we really want to hear what you have to say. So we're trying to fix that mid-screen.
Hey, Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes.
Now I can hear you too.
You want me to try to do this from my cell phone?
Oh, we can't see you now, but now you're coming through clear. You're not having any breakups at the moment.
Okay.
I don't know if it was the bandwidth or.
I can completely hear you, which is perfect. You're giving great information and relaying a great story, but at the same time, you were cutting off half the time, and I'm like, I can't do this. I need to have your. Right now we can't see you. Is that okay with you? I mean,
we can hear you. We want to hear the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyways, where I left off was it's funny that you bring up that particular topic as far as your reality of trying.
What in the world is going on here?
I actually spoke on that when I was in Cabo San Lucas. I was speaking to a contractor out of way up on the East Coast there somewhere. And it's doing really great, guys. He's doing 7 figures and just everything's coming together. And one of the things that I said to him is that when you're dealing with stuff from a business standpoint, as a leader, you want to make sure that you don't infect your team. Because when you affect your team with negativity, and you're going through a bad day, and this really doesn't have to do with just mental health. It just has to be when you wake up one day and you just want to be a dick.
Yeah.
And you roll into the office, and let's just say you have a staff of 8-10 people or 30. When you walk through those doors, you have to be on your game. And you have to hit the pause button of no matter what's going on in your personal life, you need to set that aside and engage and energize your team to start that day. You get them in their lane of whether it be sales, whether it be production, whether it be service, whether it be, systems, whatever you're doing as far as your business, your role, your job. And it's hard to do this.
Yes.
You're having a shitty day. You got a lot of stuff going on in your life. You got a lot of stuff going on in your business.
Yep.
As a leader, your team, when you walk through that door, they're looking for that guidance. They're looking for that energy. They're looking for that positivity. They're looking for that shot in the arm.
Yes. You broke up again.
It spreads throughout your organization like wildfire. So your problem now becomes a team problem that was so unnecessary. And when you do this day after day after day, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to realize your numbers are down, enthusiasm is down, your unit, your team, your brand is suffering.
They're in the muck with you.
What's that?
They're in the muck with you. Like
They're
you guys
sucking.
are all now everyone is stewing in your poo. And
Yeah,
you don't want to stew in your poo.
Right. Exactly. So it's important as leaders that, and it's hard because I went through.
Dang it, man. I don't know what the deal is with this internet.
I was looking for a playbook to download. There was nothing for me to download to figure out how to get out of this mess. Right. There was no PDF file that I could, download and open up and say, okay, I'm supposed to be feeling this way today. There's nothing out there that can prepare an individual on how to react. So you have two choices: either react negatively or react positive, from a positive standpoint.
It's so great. It's so great to hear that. Mark, when Carlos is telling us this, it kind of reminds me of, you and I were both in personal funks when we kind of met together at the IWCA in 2024, 25, whatever it was
I would
in
say
Vegas.
I was pretty goddamn low at that point, just with health and financial and, life-wise, just because I was sick and all that stuff. But I get what you're getting at.
So we were both going through something in our own worlds, Carlos, where Mark and I also aren't necessarily, we don't have to keep a whole team motivated. We don't have to necessarily
Just got to keep our wives happy.
Yeah, we have to keep our wives and our children happy, right? And that's almost as important as a unit as your
structure,
as your staff or whatnot. But that's the way that you mentioned that about keeping that positivity. It's part of the reason why we started this show. And we were like, look, we're going to hold each other accountable. And if Mark's in a bad mood, I can maybe boost him up. And if I'm in a bad mood, maybe he can boost me up. And if we can get each other in a better mood to start the day, and we can walk into our, wherever it is that we're going, our family unit, our first job, whether it be talking with clients or whatever. But as long as you have that positive attitude, we figured, yes, exactly, Deeds. We figured it would be the best way to start the day. You know what I mean? There he is.
Yeah. So
Carlos is back. He's from his phone. It looks like awesome.
Yeah.
So much better.
On my cell phone. There we go. Can you?
Oh, except for now I can't hear him.
Oh,
can you hear him, Deeds?
I can hear him.
Oh man.
Hold on. We're gonna kick Jason from the studio. He's gonna come back. But yeah, Carlos. Hopefully you'll have a very good stream, so it won't be chopping up with catching some of it. But Jason and I were just talking. The reason we started the show is to get an accountability and a positive, do a positive thing in the mornings.
Yeah.
Testing. Can you hear us? Change your Jason audio type stuff. Microphone, speaker. Let's see. No, his mic's off. Yeah, muted it. Let's see. Freaking Windows 98. Sorry. Mike. Yeah, his mic is not connected. That's why.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, as great as a StreamYard is for a platform, it does have some bugs. When people jump off, jump back in, it cuts off and cuts in.
I can hear
both
of you now.
Cool. We just had to kick and rejoin.
Holy smokes. So, Carlos, you get what we're getting at, and I get what you're getting at. And it is so important to continue that positive attitude. Are you guys getting feedback?
Yeah, I think Carlos's phone. If Carlos, there's like a layout. There's a wheel of settings. You can go to settings, audio, and then there's echo cancellation in the audio part. It's like a little gearbox somewhere on the bottom.
Oh man.
You go to audio. Yeah. Yikes. Gremlins today.
Yeah.
Gremlins
and we're not even in Phoenix, and I'm not even on the laptop.
Yeah, the guy's waiting. He's like, "What audio? I need to go find to check my email account right now." But
Hey,
you're not
what's going on in the chat room? Anybody in there?
Let's see. Jake Vano, we got Echo, Gremlins. Yep. Nick.
Carlos,
Yeah,
are you there?
Yeah, I'm
us?
here. Audio.
All right.
Echo.
Actually, I
It's
get a
good.
little bit of echo feedback, but it's nowhere near as it was.
Now can you hear me?
Oh,
Yep,
perfect.
perfect. That's
I
100%.
can't hear you guys though.
Oh, dang it. All right.
Fucking
We're going to,
yay.
Let me
all
go
right, hold
back to
on.
settings.
Yeah, settings, audio. Yep.
Default.
You can't hear me. It's like trying to explain to my mom how to use one of those wireless mouse. Just click it. It turns on.
Hold on.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Checking the mic. Testing the audio.
Check 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
you.
can hear you.
I
Oh,
can't
he
hear you
can't hear
guys
us.
though.
Okay.
That's weird.
Hold on. Yeah. Let's see. Jason jumped off. Testing 1, 2. We're going to kick from the studio again and try again. Let's see. Boop. And it's just me. It's like Wayne with Garth when he's sitting there. Oh, I don't know. At the stage. Boom. Jason, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, now we're going to get Carlos to pop back on. It's like Musical Chairs Wednesday.
Can you
A whole
hear
bunch
me?
Yes, I can.
I'm not sure what the deal is.
What does the deal do? So nobody can. Interesting. Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right,
Okay,
Carlos, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, we're just gonna fight through the gremlins in the background, the feedback. Fuck it. As we were mentioning before, and I apologize, we've never had issues like this before. We've had a couple of issues on my end with some weird internet connection, but we've never dealt with anything like this before, and I apologize because this interview is something that's meant a lot to me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time and get you to share how you've been able to get through some of the difficult times. And it sounds to me like you have realized that regardless of the situation around you, it's you. It's you, Carlos. It's me, Jason. It's you, Deeds, that can control kind of our own atmosphere, right? It's our attitude to some extent. You know, it's our attitude that can also help those around us. Is that somewhat true?
Yeah, I mean I'm not I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. I just, I'm a blue collar type guy that, just kind of draws from within. And I think what's sad when an individual or a business owner's they find themselves in this environment of what the hell's going on,
Yeah.
and that whatever they touch breaks. They're so busy. We get so busy with the business of business because we have to keep the wheels moving. That's our lifeline. Keeping the services going, keeping the routes going on the window cleaning side, keeping the contracts going on the pressure washing side. And if an individual does not have an outlet somewhere to dump shit
Yep.
at the end of the day, it's tough. It's tough because it's you have multiple things going on your business side and also on the personal side. And there's one key factor that we have no control of in that environment, and that's time. We can't manipulate that and ask the world and ask everything that's around us. We can't hit that pause button to make everything stop so that we catch up. And that's something that I experienced, during those 3 years that helped me when I finally realized that shit, the world's not stopping because
Yeah,
of my
there's no
problem.
pause.
There's no pause button, and I even from an industry standpoint, I had some rough times, difficult times mentally, where I felt, and I'm being totally transparent with everybody, is that I wanted the industry to stop.
Yeah.
and allow me to catch up. And I wanted, it was more from a healing standpoint, is that I wanted the world to really truly understand how the nightmare that we were going through. And I knew deep down that people were feeling my pain, but I wanted more of that, I think, in a weird kind of way. And what helped me get out of my funk was, two things. Number one, my team. I just really have some fantastic people that's, I consider to be in my inner circle that understood the mission from a EBC standpoint and picked up the slack where I was lacking. And the second thing was realizing for myself that the world's not going to stop for me in this situation. Things are going to continue to move forward, and I need to deal with it head on. So I think from a business owner standpoint, and this is something that we don't talk enough about
Yeah.
in our industry. When we go to conferences, and this is not, a slight to any conference or any, trade show or anything like that. It is what it is. But when you have business owners that all through their life from day one as a young boy or as a young girl, when the message of you can't do this, you're not allowed to do that, your upbringing wasn't considered to be perfect, where you had maybe, a dysfunctional family, alcoholism, mental health issues, marriage strain, problems at school, confidence. You were the kid that everybody picked on at school. You were the laughing stock of, high school or college or whatever the circumstance. Your mind, your mentality is trained that way when you go into adulthood.
Yeah.
So when you decided, when you decide to open up that business, that window cleaning company or that landscaping company or that pressure washing company or roofing company, you're bringing elements to the equation that haven't been dealt with yet as a child.
Yes.
And then, you go through the process of setting up your business, and you're out there doing the work because financially you can't bring on people yet. And you're making money, you're making ends meet. So you figured, this is my path. This is the gold nugget that I've been looking for. And then whatever that timing is, year after year, you feel in your heart that it's time to grow now. And you attend a convention, you attend a conference, you see a speaker that, the scale to $60 million, whether it be on, whatever the service is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick on any particular industry, but you're scrolling through Facebook, you see an ad rotate in front of you. There's, a conference going on down the road where this guy started, he lived in a doghouse for 5 years or in the back of his van, and now he's doing $120 million. Well, that's what I want to be. So I'm going to go to this conference and listen to this person speak. I'm going to drop, whatever amount of money to go meet this person and network. And you go, and you come back, and nothing happens. And then the following year, you go to another conference. And because someone else, there's another shiny nickel speaker, all the bells and whistles, all the lights, all the fireworks, this is the guy that's going to help me get to $1 million or 10 million or whatever that amount of money is. So you go and you come back and nothing happens. And what we do is we get into the cycle of, I call it touring the conferences. We're like, deadheads just going to one gig after another.
Yep.
And we get that enthusiasm, that networking kind of inspiration shot in the arm, but it only goes so far. When we come back to our business, we haven't dealt with what's really going on in our life.
And that's all the crap that we brought with us when we were a young kid. Confidence, self-esteem. We still haven't dealt with some of
Issues.
the issues that we've carried, that we experienced as kids into adulthood. And we
So
think, one second here, and we think by going to a certain venue or whatever is going to fix that. And it's not. So there's a lot of soul searching, I think, that business owners, and here's the thing, it's taboo to talk about this stuff.
yeah.
We don't go to the conferences to expose our dirty laundry. We go to the conferences because, we want to be seen. We want to be looked as, the shining star. We want to be that lighthouse on the hill. And we can pretend and go down this road of illusions for only so long.
Yeah.
But that scale up, everything's out there for a business to scale, to go to 30 million. I talk with companies that, have reached that pinnacle, that have reached that scale of, 30 million, 40 million. And it's so great to hear their stories. So all that data and all that stuff and all the tools are out there for you to utilize. But what happens with business owners is we go to these venues and we ask, well, how come I can't do this? And we don't realize that, brother, you got some shit that you got to deal with personally before you even are ready for something like that. So this is not an add water and stir type thing, zap it in the microwave, go to a conference and everything's going to be okay. There's a balance there that we often overlook in all industries. It's just something that you don't talk about at a trade show. I hope I'm hitting the right tempo here with you guys about that balance.
No,
Sure,
you nailed it on the head for me. So, Carlos, as a recovering alcoholic, as somebody who has been in countless AA meetings, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of therapy sessions, not only on my own, but in group settings, it kind of reminds me of a lot of the things that I went through in my recovery. And it's noticing your own character defects, your deficiencies, your flaws,
repeated
acknowledging
patterns of not doing things.
acknowledging your own deficiencies and flaws and character defects, admitting them and knowing what they are, definitely helped me become a better business person. Now I still suck at all sorts of stuff. That's just, I know exactly what I'm flawed at, right? And being able to understand what you're not great at and leaning on others to help take the wheel in that aspect. Sometimes that's been super beneficial to me. But I will say this: the character defect thing that you're speaking of, I'm using a different term than what you're using, but it's basically the same thing. It's like, brother, you got some issues. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to continue. Some people can hide those issues or flaws and continue to make money or whatever. But eventually that shit's going to catch up, right? I mean, you don't just keep growing and growing and growing if you don't uncover the root, right?
Exactly. And I think there's a stop, a truck stop even before that business mentality. You owe it to yourself as an individual to, if you feel that there are some issues that you're dealing with them is just going to make you a better person in general. Correct. You're going to be happy about who you are. And you may not resolve those issues. You can't change the past. Like for me, I was in foster homes all my life, and I have trust issues because I was just bounced around as a kid, as an adolescent, from one home to the next, and every home that I went to, that I was, I always said to myself, well, maybe this is the family that's going to make me feel complete again. And that never happened. And so I personally have, I like to control things in my business because I have a trust issue. and that's not a bad thing, but I've learned to deal with it. So what I'm saying is that you can't fix what happened in the past, but you have to at least acknowledge it and say, yes, this is something that I've been dealing with for a very long time, and I need to recognize it and be able to manage that for my personal life.
Yeah.
Now, the business side, that comes secondary. I think first we got to fix ourselves. I'm just a true believer that, before you start building a team and have your eyes set on, I'm going to do 50 million. Well, fuck, great. That's great. You're at, 100,000 now. Let's take one step at a time. Don't shoot so far into 50 million. Let's try to get a 500,000 first and work towards that, and then work to, $1 million, 6 figures, 7 figures. There's just some things that I feel personally, in my opinion, that if you're bringing a bunch of stuff from your past into the equation, it's just going to make things a little bit more difficult for you.
Again, mucky up the water.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
again, yep. So again, with just one last little pivot on there, one little plug, I guess, for me is that, this is one of the reasons why, I created the Summit Mastermind. It's that I do every year in Cabo San Lucas. It's, the 5-day conference that we do. And we focus on business, obviously. It's a business expense. It's a business conference. But the undertone or the undercurrent of this is that we want family members to attend this. We want your wife, we want your kids to enjoy this experience, because as business owners, we get busy with the busyness of our business, and we go to these conferences, and a lot of times our family is left home, or they're stuck in a room, or they're at the arcade at the hotel, and that's the extent of their trip. And so one of the purposes of the Summit Mastermind is our group activities. We want the family to be part of that. We want them to go snorkeling. We want them to go ATV riding. We want them to enjoy, the venue, the resort that we're at and stuff, because they're important. They're as important to, your equation than your business. And again, it I look at my situation with my daughter now, and my life has changed. Priorities are different now with me. She is first and foremost a priority, and business is secondary for me.
It's amazing that you're able to share not only the story of that, and I know we haven't even put a tidy little bow on that yet, but the fact that you're sharing how important all of the aspects are. It's not just the business, your personal life, your the happiness of your inner circle. And again, one of the most important things is right here in between your own ears, right? Like how calm is your mind? How are you everywhere, all over the place, all the time? Can you get a thought across without getting spun out? You know what I mean? Like there's so many things going on in the world and on our personal lives. Keeping yourself, our personal selves, in the right frame of mind is in my opinion one of the most important things in business, right? And
Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound like, hey, we need to be selfish, we need to be a Jason thing. But if I'm not personally okay, everything else is going to go to shit. My wife, my kids, my dogs, my business, you know what I mean? Like all that shit's gone if I'm not mentally okay, right?
Absolutely. And there's another side of that equation, Jason, is that when you have that package nice and tight, where that balance is there, and from a business standpoint, you're in the industry and you're helping and you're giving and you're engaged with the upcoming new business owners in the industry, whether it be pressure washing, whether it be window cleaning, where you're considered to be the go-to person or one of the go-to persons for advice, for suggestions, you have to be very careful that when you're on that pedestal of being tagged in posts of saying, ask Jason for advice or ask Mark for advice because they've been around, they offer, solid information. You have to be very careful that you're not being slowly being sucked and drained of who you are in the industry as well. So the guardrails that you put up, they're not just, you don't just throw up guardrails just to protect yourself and your own sanity. The guardrails are up to make sure that what you've been able to
achieve,
manage mentally doesn't get sucked out again. And I'm telling you, I've been in this industry for, close to 30 years. And I don't think people do it maliciously. But if you allow it, trust me, people will suck you dry.
Oh, I'm fully aware, Carlos. I'm fully aware. People in our industry tend to, they steal your joy. You know what I mean? People are out to just, if you're doing well, some people don't appreciate it. They want to see you not doing so well. And like that song, haters gonna hate, but it's our job, our goal, our intent to continue to push that positivity. And it's not a fucking act. Pardon my French again, but it's not an act. It's the truth. Because we can't allow that negativity to swallow up our joy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's guys who put out content who get negative comments and stuff for years, and it can warp their mind and turn them to be more negative and actually, not help in some ways. Get off on a tangent there, but yeah.
No, and Carlos, you said something too that I would love to hit on. It's one of those things where it's like, if you've been in any industry long enough and you've been given an opportunity to have people look towards you for your advice, look towards you for whatever it may be, you want to give that proper advice and you want to make sure that you're relaying the right information. It's like, I don't want to feed anybody any nonsense. And when you get up to, as you've been given the opportunities to share your insight, the best thing we can do is be truthful and honest, right?
Well, I think that narrative comes from experience. And, the funny thing with our industry, the window cleaning, pressure washing, is that, I draw based on experience. And what I'm seeing today, especially in the pressure washing industry, is things have changed. The way that we have done things 5 years ago, 10 years ago, both from a system standpoint and also from an equipment standpoint. So over the last couple of years, I've been very careful about throwing out something that worked for me 10 years ago from a marketing standpoint, because that in itself may be an obsolete path. We talk about AI. We haven't even talked about that. So AI is the new golden nugget, the new golden egg that that people are, attaching themselves to, including us. We have, some AI things going on in the back platforms of BBC, but again, things are changing. So as a veteran, I've controlled myself or been able to say, instead of just jumping in and saying, no, do it this way because it worked 10 years ago like this. That's not necessarily true today. So I'm in the groups, not just offering suggestions. I'm actually in the groups trying to find that person where they're giving that good advice of current stuff. because things are evolving. And then on the window cleaning side, you can use that same argument and just, and say, well, this worked 10 years ago or 15 years ago or even 5 years ago. That's great, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the standard today.
Correct.
And this is what I like about some of the leaders in our industry, certainly pressure washing, window cleaning, is I marvel at the cutting edge technology, the things that I'm seeing that's coming out of, the window cleaning industry, and certainly with the pressure washing. It's like you have these young people coming into our industry, newbies, and they're bringing some pretty groovy ideas and technology and concepts to the table that weren't necessarily available to us older folks 5 years ago. Now, how do you handle that? Well, you can say, oh, they're just, they don't know what they're talking about, or you can hit the pause button and maybe learn a damn thing or two from these new people.
So that's exactly another great point. It's like, if we are open to suggestion, if we are open to listening, oftentimes we can pick up far more valuable information from others than just what we think we can give to them, right? Like, so these forums, these events, these conventions that we go to, like you mentioned about like the circuit, a lot of times we can pick up different nuggets, as you were use that term, if we are willing to listen. And sometimes it's not even what you go there trying to learn. It's the little tiny things that you pick up by accident.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I didn't even realize that. And sometimes it's those little tiny adjustments, those little tiny tweaks that you make that can be the biggest difference in the world in the success of your business.
It's the little nuggets that I find value in, those happenstance encounters, the not the actual rooms that you're in with pen and paper trying to write down every single word that someone's talking about. It's the random encounter that you have with someone that you find yourself 2 hours into a conversation in a lobby somewhere where you connect with someone, and it's like, wow. And that's the beauty of having these events. That's the beauty of, when I went to the, the PWNA, the IWCA event, this past year, the social, and you guys were there.
Yeah, baby.
The social was just the energy that evening. Was just fabulous. And the networking. So that's where you're going to get that shot in the arm, that juice, and then that affirmation that, I'm on the right track. But again, when you opened up the, today's pod about, the mental health side and the psychological things that we deal with, it's, I think it's important that everybody understands that, you're not alone in this.
Your battery, you got to charge your battery sometimes. That's my method of looking at it.
So actually,
you got to put your battery on the charger.
Yeah.
So you just brought up another good point too. So for those of us who go to these events, you get there, you get hype, you feel that energy, you're on a high. While you're there, you're on a high for the next 3 to 7 days, and then all of a sudden, 10 days later, you're like, oh shit, why do I feel like this? How do you continue to keep that high from while you were at the event until the next event, for the next 3 months, for the next 6 months? Like, how do you keep that shot in the arm going through you all the time? Is it through communicating with the friends that you met there? Is it from implementing stuff that you learned at those? Like, you're in a different stage than a lot of our listeners or viewers, but how could you recommend our friends that are watching and listening to stay on that level, to stay on that high? Because that's what everybody's really searching, man. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's discipline. It really is. And I know exactly what you're talking about, Jason.
Oh,
Is
I've
that
I've lived it, Carlos, and it's depressing when you go home sometimes and you leave your friends. That's the other reason why Mark and I started this show.
yeah, it's
I left hanging out with Deeds, Jersey, Steve-O, freaking the Lambrinides brothers,
yeah.
Mike Nichols, Zane, and John B. All these great men that I was learning from for 4 straight mornings. I left there and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't have
Well,
this group
it's
to pick me up.
yeah, yeah. It's a good feeling when you leave shows and you leave folks that feel like family.
Yes.
Over the years, you've grown together and you've networked and you have that connection with them. But the important thing is, when you get back to your home base, wherever that is, and let's just say you're a two-man
Which I
solo
am.
operator, whatever, and you know that there's another chapter in your business somewhere out there that you want to find and implement, and all the tools and all the nice system stuff that you were taught at these conferences pave that way for you to get there. It's all about execution and staying focused on your dream.
Yeah.
I go back. One of the topics of the trainings that I do is, why did you get into this business in the first place? That's one of the questions I ask. People that are in the pressure washing industry that is just starting in the industry, and it's like, well, what made you come to us as a business owner? What pushed you here? And what I look for in the answers is not so much, oh, I lost my job and this just seemed a lot. I look for that person that said, this is what I want to do. This has been my dream. This has been my passion. And, and, and I feel that I can make something out of this. So that, to me, that's the diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
That's the person that is someday down the road, they're going to be that lighthouse on the hill, hopefully, or they're going to scale up and get to a certain point. And we can talk about your backgrounds. We can talk about, your past, whether you have, a criminal history or not, or there's just issues in the home and stuff like. I mean, yeah, those are things that you deal with. But if you carry that with you day after day after day, and you're trying to scale, it's just that ball and weight, or that chain and ball and chain mentality that you're dragging with you that you don't necessarily do. I mean, look at it. David Carroll from Dope Marketing. I mean, everybody knows Dave in the home service industries. His story is so fascinating, of where he was as a young guy, as a young kid, and what he did in life, and some of the mistakes that he made and that he paid for them.
Yeah.
And you look at where he's at today, and the scale up from 0 to 30 million, 40 million, whatever he's worth. But what's more important about Dave, what I really like about Dave's story, is his character and his outlook on life. And you get to a certain point in your business where the money is not so much the lure or the carrot on the stick. It's about the quality of life.
Yeah. So, what's great about that, and you're mentioning, I don't know David that well. I don't know him at all personally. I've seen a little bit of his stuff, and I know obviously everybody does know Dope Marketing. But the one thing that you mentioned about that is background, character, where you grow up, where you come from. There's so many different people like him, like myself, like that in our industry, that it's easy to not, pardon me, I shouldn't say easy. If you're looking for somebody to help you, to help mold, to share some stories with, if you're looking in the right places, it's easy to find somebody who might be willing to share some time with you. I can think of about 10 wonderful, great stories just in window cleaning alone. You know what I mean? About guys and gals who have overcome some shitty things. So
Yeah.
it's not about where you come from, it's about who you are on the inside. And as long as we keep growing and doing it that way and doing things the right way, our industries, not just window cleaning, not just power washing, the home service, you know what I mean? The home service industries will be better for such.
Well, I think, and that's the quagmire that a lot of business owners find themselves in, and it goes back to what I said is that we bring the stuff that was taught to us and
I never
pounded
thought
into
about it
us
that way,
as
but it's an
childhood.
amazing perspective.
Yeah, when you're, as a kid, as adolescent, when your days are, when you're constantly reminded as a kid that you can't do this, you're not supposed to do that. This is how we do it. Your mind is trained. So when you get to that adulthood, you already have a fixed
A
opinion,
pre
if you will,
a predetermined.
predetermined path. And it's up to you to understand that and recognize that, wait a minute, this is what I was told as a kid, and what I'm seeing doesn't jive.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go against what my own psyche is telling me. It's telling me that you can't do this, Carlos, and I'm going to try it and do it. And really, that was the springboard with EBC. It's, I was told by so many people in the industry that, EBC is going to fail within 3 years. Why are you introducing a soap or degreaser into the industry where there's 30, 40, 50 other different products like that? So I had a lot of people in the industry that kind of pushed back a little bit on when I broached the idea to them.
Yeah.
And normally I would listen to them and say, well, yeah, maybe this was a fucked up idea anyways. Maybe I shouldn't do this. But I went against the grain. I'm like, no, because I knew in my heart of hearts I had something here.
There you go.
Something different. And here we are 13 years later, we're still, we're out there making moves. Our scale up has been respectable. We're worldwide. We've got a lot of things going on behind the scenes. But the neat thing about the product line and about the business is that it's not about the money anymore. It's just about my ability to spend more time with my daughter and my family, and that balance. It's just been a cool ride, so far. And one thing I want to leave with some of the listeners is that if you're dealing with stuff mentally,
Yes.
and you've been kind of shy about talking about it or opening up, it's okay. It's okay to feel this way because there's a lot of people in the same boat as you.
Yep.
And this is something I think that, like I said, it doesn't get talked enough at traditional conferences or traditional trade shows, and I understand why.
Yeah.
But know that you're not alone in this, and that your scale up doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make $1 million or $2 million or $10 million. Your scale up could be from a mental standpoint of, I know who I am now.
Preach. I love that.
Yeah.
Carlos, and that's one of the great things about being able to share with our viewers, with our friends. I consider you a friend.
Yeah.
The ability to do that. And a lot of our viewers, a lot of our listeners have openly shared some of their issues and made it publicly known so that when others who have similar circumstances or issues or things arise, they know that they can pick up a phone, or they know that they can text a buddy, or they know that they can reach out and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that we were able to get you on today to talk a little bit about how you balance the work-life balance, but also the mental health aspect, and what helps you get through a little bit of it.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys letting me kind of dump and open up about that. It's always
That's what we're here for. And we try to tell, it sounds really goofy when I tell people, like, seriously, yeah, we want people to promote whatever it is, product or something great that's going on in their life. But at the same time, we also want to let it be known that this is a safe space and a place where people can come vent, they can dump, they can share. Because while we're dumping, while we're sharing, we're all learning too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. So one last question for you two guys. So your next gig, as far as conference is concerned, would be what, next year at the IWCA PWNA convention in Texas, or are you
We've got the
guys?
huge
We
coming up
haven't
here in Orlando.
Oh, the
we haven't
huge.
lined up the huge yet, but we're working on it. We're gonna do our best to make sure that we get there.
Nice,
The huge is
nice.
an event that impacted my life personally a ton. I
Nice.
went for my first time, and I actually saw you. I met you the first time out in front. You didn't know me then, but we shook hands. You were getting ready to go on a run. I was out there with David Rivas from
Oh,
Rhino.
okay,
I was out there having a cig, having a little
okay.
puff action, and you're out there at like, I don't know, 6:30 in the morning, getting ready to go on a run. And David Rivas is out there and he's like, "Hey man, you know who that is?" And I'm like, "No, I don't, bro." And he's like, "Come on, man, it's Carlos Gonzales, bro. He does, you know." And he's like, he's got this voice, and anyways.
That's
So
David. Yeah, I know David.
yes, David and
Good deal.
Lacey, David and Lacey out in Louisiana. I love those
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah.
So we're really going to try to make it to the huge. It
Nice.
is a goal, so I'm going to see if I can make that happen. Deeds and I really want to do it. We have lined up our IWCA PWNA already, so I don't know how the hell that worked out, but we managed to figure out February 27 we will be there in Texas
Good.
next year. Are you going to
Yeah.
be at the huge?
I won't actually. I'm probably going to be out of the country during that time. We've got a lot of things going on, both on the EBC side and also on the personal side. Some trips and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to be in Oregon City next week speaking, and then got a birthday coming up. So my wife and my daughter are trying to get me out of the country for a week or so, and
Nice.
then we got some other stuff going on with possible Australia, being over there for EBC and stuff. But the short answer is definitely I'm going to be at the PWNA, IWCA.
Cool.
I always enjoy going to the huge, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it this year.
Right on, right on. Well, if you want to
Yeah.
send some representatives, you can send Deeds and I. Let
Cool.
us know.
There you go. There you go. I would love to have you guys down in Cabo
Yeah,
in September.
when was the mastermind?
That's September 20, I think the 29th through October 4th, if I'm not mistaken.
End of
Duly
September,
noted.
early October.
End of
I'll send-
September through October.
Yeah, it'd be great to have you guys do a live feed down there. That would be just pretty
Toes in the
awesome.
sand.
Yeah,
that would be outstanding.
Gonna run that
right
by
on
my
the beach
accountant
and
real
stuff.
quick.
Yeah, I'll send you guys a link. I'll send you guys a link to the site and
Please
stuff
do.
like that. And so,
Oh
good
yeah.
deal.
Well, at the end of the show, what we like to do, Carlos, is we like to give everybody an opportunity to give some shout outs, give some thanks, give some love. Is there anybody that you would love to send some shout outs to?
Oh gosh, wow! Just everybody in the service industry it's keep grinding away. Things may sometimes look hopeless,
Yes.
but it's not. It's we're in some really weird times right now globally. Things are messy a little bit out there, but we've seen things like this before, COVID, where everything was shut down in the industry, and we managed both on the window cleaning side and pressure washing side. So just keep pounding away, serve your customers properly, and keep hope alive, I guess, man.
Hell yeah. Deeds, you want in on this?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Carlos, for coming and sharing your story this morning. It sucks that we had the internet connectivity issues, but we got a lot of that story, and we appreciate you being honest and telling us, being real with us. That's cool.
Cool.
Thank you, everybody else, for watching this morning, and catch us on the replay. Thank you, Chris, Alex, everybody at WCR0. It's been a great week. Hopefully, it's only Wednesday, so hopefully, guys can get out there and make it a better day. I forgot to play. I forgot to play the Frank Rave with the weather conditions in Amsterdam. So when we sign off, I'll play that for the sign off, and we'll get.
Yeah, you know Frank, right, Carlos?
I know Frank. Frank is,
All right,
Frank is he's a legend.
Yes.
It's weird because I come from the pressure washing side. I know we're running out of time, but it's like I could talk with you guys all day long, and it's so fascinating. I'm trying to slowly but surely get into the window cleaning side of the mainstream of people in the industry. Like Stevie O, and obviously Chris. You got the folks over at Jay Rance's team. I mean, just a lot of good people in general. And it's meeting some of these guys. It's just it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. The window cleaning industry has been very gracious with me, very open, very accommodating, and I really enjoy that vibe that I have with that part of the industry that I didn't have years ago when I was pressure washing. So it's unique and different. So yeah,
we're proud to have Craig Hensel and Frank on our team.
Yeah. So actually, real quick, then Deeds. So Frank has been kind enough to share with us. We kind of goof around about what's the weather like today, with all of our friends across the country. Well, now we have Frank as an ambassador across the nation, across the nations. Deeds, you want to run that real quick?
Sure. Yeah. We'll add Frank. See what's going on here.
My homies. Yesterday it was around 90. Today it's about 75 or something. It's a bit cooler. It was so hot yesterday. Anyway, hasta la vista, baby. Just do it.
So he gives us a daily shout out, kind of like Ollie from Family Guy, telling us
what's Ollie? It's hot.
Yeah. So Frank has been gracious enough to be one of the best in the biz and share some moments with us. So that's how I'm going to start my thank yous and shout outs. Thank you, Frank Rave, for just being Frank fucking Rave. 777 all day, baby. Shout outs to WCR. Shout outs to Zero. Chris and Alex, we appreciate you guys. I believe there's still 15% off on WCR. I'm not sure.
I think so.
Go check it out. Friday. It's a surprise. You'll never know. Yeah, it's a surprise on Friday because I don't even know yet what we're doing.
I put
Carlos,
a placard, so
yeah,
I know.
Carlos, we appreciate you popping in. Thanks again for sharing some of your story and how you get through the mental grind of being a dad, a business owner, and all that good stuff. I look forward to chatting with you very soon. And yeah, thanks again, guys. Check us on Friday for a surprise, 8:30 Eastern.
Appreciate it, guys. Be good. Have a great day.
Thanks, Carlos.
You too, Carlos.